You were right, came alongside to take me away, lead me astray.
Hey everyone, welcome to another video. It's Simon Hurley from Inklips, and let me just tell you guys, I know the struggle of finishing a 2-hour card masterpiece, or finishing a coloring piece and getting ink splotches on it, or accidentally ruining it in some sort of way, and then having to restart that. However, today I'm going to be showing you how to salvage those pieces, and I'm going to give you 6 different card making life hacks, how to fix your mistakes on your cards, and hopefully not have to spend 2 more hours redoing that masterpiece that you made. And for those of you guys who are waiting for an organization card making life hacks, I'm still working a little bit on that one. It takes a little bit longer because I still need to figure out some different organization things that aren't quite working out for me right now, and then I can tell you guys them and give you all the best tips for your organization, so that'll be coming pretty soon. Now, sit back, relax, and enjoy the movie. Alright, so this first hack is going to help remove something I know we're all guilty of, and it's those little tiny ink spots you might get on your cardstock with your fingerprints. You might have a little too much ink and it gets right onto your cardstock, and this can be quite disappointing if you're pretty far into your project and you don't want to throw it away. So I'm just going to grab a fine grit piece of sandpaper here, nothing that will ruin your cardstock, but something that will remove the top thin layer. You could also use a sand eraser, and that works pretty well as well, but I just go with a really light hand and start removing that top layer of the cardstock where the ink is, and just go in a circular motion, and it won't make too many marks on your cardstock. And once that's complete and the mark has gone away, pretty much you're going to want to take your eraser and just erase that portion to kind of smooth it out, and nobody will ever know that there was a mark on your cardstock, and you can continue working. So this next hack is going to show you how to cover up those ink spots in case if there's too many to sand down in your cardstock and you don't want to risk ruining it, or in case if you want a little bit of a chance to embellish your card and make it look a little bit better. So all I'm going to do is just show you 2 different ways in today's video to cover these up, but there's probably many more you could think of as well. This first one is using some Nuvo Tonic crystal drops. These things are awesome. They're kind of another version of glossy accents, except they come in a ton of different colors and shimmer varieties. I don't have a ton here, but I bought a couple and I'm already in love with them. Basically, you squeeze them out kind of at an upward angle so they dome into a nice circle, and they kind of second for enamel dots here, and I'm just going to add them right over the ink spots. They work really well to cover them up, and like I said, there's a ton of different colors and varieties to match all of your card making needs, and they aren't too pricey, so you could buy a couple of them to use on your cards in some of your favorite colors that you use most often, and there's a huge variety to choose from in these, and I think they add just a really awesome textured effect to your cards. All you need to do to use these is just hold them in an upward motion and then squeeze until you have a big enough circle, and then lift your bottle upward, and they shouldn't form any peak at the top. They should have a nice rounded dome, but if they do have a peak, you could just tap underneath the cardstock to round them out. And if you want these ahead of time to glue onto your cardstock, you could just add them to a craft mat and give them a day to dry overnight, and these should turn out like little awesome enamel dots. Now another option that I like is just to add some sequins onto your cards. There's a ton of varieties of these out now. They're super popular, so it's not really hard to choose your favorite sequins, and then you could just start adding them onto your cards, and they give this awesome shimmery effect when you tilt it in the light, and also they add a nice element of embellishment to your card, and you can add them in little clusters all around your card wherever you need them. Here's a closer look, and I find these are my 2 favorite products to use for covering up things or just adding some really awesome embellishments and texture onto my cards. This next hack for fixing your coloring is one of my favorites because it happens to me all the time in case of your colors bleed outside the lines or you go outside the lines a couple times. So all you need to do is just take a white gel pen that matches your cardstock, most do, and you just have to go around the edges of your image wherever you went outside the lines and just go over top of it a couple times. This will cover up any color that goes outside the lines if it's not super dark, and it just creates that little white layer over top so it's not as obvious that you went outside the lines in a couple areas on your image. This next hack really helps if you're not too great at cutting and you want the edges to look a little bit more cohesive with the rest of your card. So all you need to do is just fussy cut out an image here. This isn't part of the hack, but if you want a smoother line when you're cutting, all you need to do is just move the card stock rather than moving your scissors, and that'll help you. So once you're done fussy cutting, this really helps make it more cohesive with the actual stamping lines. I just go around the image with a black marker to kind of cover up that white cardstock core there, and that way when you turn it, the card on the side, and you want a little bit of a smoother look, that really helps it kind of get more cohesive with those stamped lines and makes it look a little bit more perfect. So you can see kind of the edges there with that stamped line, and it makes it look like you've made no mistakes while you're cutting. The last two hacks are kind of to save things rather than fixing them, and this first one is to save you from ripping your card in case if you need to make any changes. So I have two adhesives here. One gives down little dots, and then one gives down a straight line of adhesive. I tend to go for the lined adhesive, but I know a lot of people like the dots as well, and I find you can remove them both, so that's kind of a nice little tip there. In case if you add it in the wrong place or you want to remove some, you can just wipe it with your finger, and they both kind of come up off the cardstock, which is nice to know. If you don't add anything down onto them, they nice peel off. So then if I want to add it onto my card, I just take the tape runner and add a bunch of adhesive onto the back of the surface here. And once I'm done adding all of that, I'm going to add it right onto my card. Now usually I just kind of press down a little tiny bit and don't push down too much. And this way, in case I want to change my mind later or cut something down, which happens quite a bit, I just kind of peel it off, and you want to peel slower than that so it doesn't rip. But then you have that card and it's saved. But if you add it down really hard and you want to change something, it doesn't really work that way because this adhesive thankfully is permanent. So if you want to peel something up, it takes really slow and you still are going to rip your cards. This next hack is an adhesive that I really like that'll save you from smearing your glue all over the place or having glue stains or shininess. And this is Multi-Matte Medium. It's super nice. I have it in this fine tip applicator bottle so I can add it on in really thin lines or underneath sequins and only add a little bit of adhesive down. But it starts out this white color, and it's you can add it onto your card, and once it dries, it'll dry completely matte and clear. And so basically you won't be able to see it, and this is super nice in case if I want to change something or maybe remove a sequin. All you need to do is just kind of take a rag and wipe up that adhesive. It'll have that little darker spot there, however it'll dry nice and clear and matte, and nobody will know that that was ever there. So then if I'm going to add sequins down and the glue smushes out a little bit, it'll dry matte and clear. So it's not like glossy accents where it'll leave this glossy residue behind. And if I'm adding those sequins down, but I decide I want to remove one, like in that other time when I just used that rag there, you can remove a sequin off really nice and easily. And you can just wipe that surface down and you won't have that mark there anymore where that sequin was. So this is a really nice adhesive and glue, and I find it super strong when it dries as well. So that's another nice bonus. What did you guys think? I hope you really enjoyed that video. If you did, please give it a big thumbs up. Remember that organization video is coming soon. And leave a comment down below if you have any future life hacks you want me to feature in a video. And let me know what was your favorite life hack from this video. While you're down there, there's a little subscribe button as well. If you want to click that, as well as the little bell next to it, it'll give you all the notifications from my channel, and any videos that I post in the future will be in your inbox. Well, I'll see you guys very soon for another card making and crafting video. Bye!